Welcome to Moon Harbor Extended. Today's issue is Cosmic, Issue 10, Like Oil and Water. On the cover, we see our team standing in battle stances on the beach, backs to the reader. Rising up behind them, we can see a tall, imposing man, made of what appears to be a sticky oil. His hand grasps a long, oily cane, pointed at our heroes. We turn the page and our story begins. And in the panel above you, this dark cloud is just spreading out. It's covering, at this point, probably a 4 or 5 square mile area. And the whole place is just getting dimmer and dimmer, and it's starting to blot out the sun completely.
Is this cloud can I tell what it's made out of? Can I tell if it's water vapor or if it's something else?
I think you should assess.
That's not going to be pretty, but sure, if you want me to. Okay, that's a 7.
Are you sure? Do you have a condition mark? Do we need to bring it down to a 5?
No, that was with the condition marked. I have a 0, and then I'm guilty.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I just enjoyed the journey. It was exciting.
I think I know what the biggest threat is. Seeing the oil of the tentacles, I think I know this answer, but I want to ask who here is most vulnerable to me. Specifically seeing if that cloud is made of oil vapor, if I can just light it on fire with my sun powers.
First, I'm just going to give you some general things you're noticing here. We get the panels of you looking out over this, and the one thing you notice is that this cloud is not at cloud level. It's probably only a couple 100 feet in the air. It is hovering high building level, not up at cloud level. You aren't sure what it's made of, though. It doesn't have the same oily consistency as the tentacles that are coming up and out.
Can I point out this is the 3rd villain out of 3 that attacks us from the sky, which is amazing.
You're in space. It's all sky.
I think I want to what are my actual powers? I have to look to remember. I have the transfusing muting flesh and I'm made of living flame or of starfire. Can I throw fireballs? I don't know that I've ever done that before.
I don't think you haven't done it before, but you can sure as hell try. But to answer your question of who here is the most vulnerable to you, as you're surveying this, farther down on the boardwalk, you see part of this cloud coming down in a column and forming a vaguely man-shaped thing. So as the only thing that seems to be a person-shaped entity, I think that's the only thing that qualifies as a who.
Cool, awesome. I think there's a moment where we see me make my hand fireball shaped, I'm about to throw it. And then I look over and I see Mason with a group. And I turn and I fly directly at that person instead.
Cool. And I think before we follow up on that, I think we're going to enter battle against a dangerous foe. So, who is the leader currently?
Ovi.
Mason always thinks it's Obi.
I just lost control of my powers in a terrible way, so that's a choice.
Yeah, I didn't see her walking over to fight tentacle things.
Who's the leader? Oh, the person currently going supernova over there, completely out of fucking control. That's our leader. We got it.
Sounds right for this team.
Person don't even know what a beach is.
Well, that's just because they all ate all the beaches already.
I mean, I'm cool with being the leader. I just had to point that out.
Oh, I think it's delightful.
Technically, we don't know what happened when you lost your powers yet, so it hasn't happened on the panel. So we as players know you're about to lose your power, but we as characters do not. So you look like you're the one who's in charge right now.
Plus, for Mason, it's not gonna be Mal or Jet ever. It's not gonna be Mason himself, so...
That's valid.
So where we come out on that? Is it Ovi?
It's Ovi.
Does the leader have influence over every teammate?
I do.
Ooh. We had one team before this, right?
I think we had 0.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We used that. Ovi, what is your purpose in this fight?
To get this cloud to go away, stop threatening this beach.
Okay. Mal.
Take down the thing causing the clouds. So I think same general idea.
Mason?
I'm going to have the same thing that whatever I think that Ovi thinks this is the thing to fix.
Cool.
So it's probably the same.
And Jet.
Yeah, same.
Y'all are so nice. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
I almost did if she didn't open that portal.
Yeah, we're gonna lose that point literally every time I'm in a fight with Mason. So yeah.
I think we're just gonna do it this once for that one, if that's cool. Like, I think the team has a lot of tension right now that might make the answer to that one yes.
Yeah.
And is the team ill prepared or off balance?
Well, our leader
Definitely.
is literally just, yeah.
Yeah, we came to have a vacation and not a fight.
This thing like covered the entire beach before we even noticed it was there.
Okay, so we are at one team, but the team leader can take a condition to prevent a team from being removed. So you could take one or two conditions if
Wait,
you want.
aren't we at 2 team? Isn't it you add 2 to start? We got 2 for each of the first 2 questions, and we lost 2. So wouldn't we still be at 2?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You are correct. I just can't math. So yeah, we have 2 team. The leader of the team can take a condition to prevent the removal of a team. Are you interested?
Yeah, I'll mark angry. That feels right.
Okay. So that brings us to 3 team. And Mal, so you are flying full speed towards this person creature thing, correct?
Yep.
I'm assuming you're flying to punch him?
As I'm going, I've got the new recent edition of the gravity that has built around me. So as I'm flying, and the more speed I pick up, the faster the gravity's getting, or the stronger the gravity's getting. So I'm ripping up huge pieces of this wooden boardwalk that are now just orbiting around me. I'm gonna release that gravity power and just smack the fuck out of him with all the debris that is in this orbit now.
You are absolutely cool to do that. I will let you know there's tons of civilians. Things could easily go wrong.
Yeah, okay. I'm still doing it.
Cool. So we get the panels of you flying towards this thing, and in these panels, we see you picking up more, we see boards ripped up off the boardwalk and start orbiting, and we see the sign of a storefront fly off and shatter and fly around you. And we're also seeing this form into the shape of a short, pudgy man, but he stays this black goo, and he forms out a tuxedo with tails and a long cane as you're flying towards him. Go ahead and roll to directly engage when you get to him.
Do we think this counts as a terrifying fashion?
I don't think so, not for them.
Well, now I feel bad for putting civilians in the way. Cool. I'll roll. Got the 12 anyway.
Excellent. Pick 2.
I'm going to resist or avoid their blows and impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Okay. So what does this panel look like as you're attacking?
I'm flying forward, and then my body stops, and I'm flying Superman style, flat flying, basically surfing the wind towards him, and then I stop, and all of the debris and stuff just keeps going forward, and he just gets pelted and hit with dozens of pieces of wood and boardwalk and signs, and I think there's a beach chair in there, and just gets pelted with all this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make some modifications to that, but yeah. So we see this barrage flying towards him. He throws his cane up, and the end of it forms into this just large shield, which prevents most of this from hitting him. But I think we get a beach umbrella that slips past the shield and goes straight through his shoulder and pins him to the ground for a moment.
Can it be our beach umbrella?
Yes, it absolutely is.
Do I have a second to react? Because I have an idea.
Black and white should go really good with that tuxedo.
A second to react to...
Once he's pinned to the ground, I want to land on top of him essentially, and I kind of want to open the beach umbrella while it's inside of him.
Let's jump back to that in a sec. We get the panel of this beach umbrella just going straight through him, and we see this glob fall off the back of him, and it lands on the boardwalk. And then we see it start to soak into the wood, and then the wood of the boardwalk slowly spreading and turning into that same material from behind him.
I should never let you play paperclips.
You figured it out. He's turning the entire world into paperclips. And Mel, then go ahead. What did you want to do from there?
Now I want to land on top of him, and I assume when the beach umbrella went through him, it had been closed, in the force of the wind. So it's in him, umbrella side in, rather than cane side in. And I want to grab it and start to open it so it tears into the ligaments in his shoulder. And then basically be what do you want?
So you open the beach umbrella, and he explodes into goo.
Great. I'm glad I resisted or avoided those blows a second ago.
And we get a couple panels underneath the boardwalk of this goo dropping down onto the sand below. And from there, I think we're going to cut back over to Ovi. And I'm still not 100% sure what we're doing with this losing control. You all okay if we workshop this? What's our ideas?
What if we opened a portal to somewhere like really horrifying and let something even worse through? Maybe like the scary praying mantis-y things from the sand planet.
Or she opens a portal directly into this cloud and something comes out of that.
Okay, so I have an idea and it's ridiculous.
I'm cool with that. I trust you.
When Ovi opens a portal, does she make any hand motions? I can't remember what that looks like. If we're not seeing the portal open, can we see that Ovi's opening a portal?
She doesn't really make any hand motions. It's all pretty mental. Like she's looking in that direction, but she's not doing anything with her hands.
Are you okay if I narrate hand motions for this to make the scene work?
Go for it.
Okay. So we cut back over to Ovi, and we see her like grab the air in front of her as if she's trying to like pull a portal open and start like straining against something as she's pulling. We don't see anything change as she's pulling her hands farther apart. And then we get a cut back shot of the entire planet. Far enough out, we can see the sun that this planet's like orbiting around. And we see this massive portal start to rip open in front of the planet. And then the planet goes through the portal in its orbit and it snaps shut.
Oh, shit.
In our next panel, we're back on the surface of the planet, and the only light is coming from the stars in the sky and any artificial lights on the planet.
And Mal.
And Mal. Oh, yeah.
Mal is now the brightest thing around.
Yeah.
Shit, I fucked up.
And I'd like to get some reaction shots from Mason and Jet, since you're both just right there next to Ovi.
Okay, I think Mason just cocks an eyebrow, but doesn't really react.
I'm trying to picture how cold things suddenly become. The sun's kind of important.
Yeah, but like, it's a comic book, so you can't write heat. It's fine.
It's cool. We have 8 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of hot sand. I'm sure you got like 12.
Jet takes off his sunglasses.
And then just the general crowd, like there was chaos before. There is a full chaotic eruption. Takes off his sunglasses. Yeah. And I think, actually, Mal, you're fairly close at this point. I think we get the panel of like the 3 in the foreground, Mal in the background turning. And yeah, we got the 4 of you there. There's still these oil tentacles down below pulling people into the sand. But the man himself, like, we don't know where he is.
Am I still out of control or am I back?
I think you're back.
Okay. If somebody else wants to go first, you'll probably be able to react faster than Obi. But yeah, I'll eventually want to do something.
Let's go with Mason. Mason, what are you doing?
So I think Mason sees that Ovi is recovered and looks at her and yells, "Captain, orders."
I don't know. I don't know.
Chet, any ideas?
Well, okay. I think we might, I think our job might be considered a failure if this planet hurtles out into oblivion. So, do you suppose you could try and bring this planet back where it belongs? And I'll go fight the blobby thing.
I don't even know if Obi would be able to put it back where it belongs.
Come on, you got this.
She's definitely gonna try.
Jet, was that a comfort or support?
I think he said it with kind of an annoyed face.
All right.
Because he's really itching to get into battle.
Can I try, like, feeling the mind of this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that assess the situation, or what are we going at?
Go ahead and roll to pierce the mask. Because I think reaching out, you can find its mind. It's just what you can get from it's the more important thing here.
That's a 6.
Y'all rolls tonight are not great.
I don't really see how anybody could even spend team to help me with that, so I guess that's a fail.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like the only person who could conceivably even notice what I'm doing and maybe help is Mal, and that's not going to happen. So
I'm going to give you a choice. If you want, you can ask one from the list, but it will give them a bit of an advantage here.
can I spend team selfishly to push that up to a 7?
If you can tell me how.
Okay, cool. Because I'm thinking that when Ovi doesn't know what to do, Mason kind of goes rogue. So I think that the reason that it's a selfish spend is that I kind of know that what I'm doing is probably not a good idea. Yeah, I don't know how to...
I am currently right on top of this person. If you, like, because they're underneath the boardwalk, if you, like, piss them off by being in their mind, they could, like, lash out, like, just, like, whip out angrily and hurt me.
Does Mason even know that there's a person below the boardwalk that's connected to this, or does Mason only know about the cloud?
I think when you reached out, you can feel that there is a consciousness to it. But I will say that, like, when you're reaching out, you're feeling that consciousness in all of these things.
Okay, I think I know what to do with the selfishly spending team. I think I'm going to like extend my senses to make contact with it, and I don't think I'm going to mention anything that you tell me to the team. Does that work?
Yeah. The idea I had would further the rift between you and Mal if you were interested in hearing it.
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Because Mal has some, like, telepathy now, right?
Yeah, I do.
And I think Mal's much newer at using it, and I think there's a world in which Mason could draw on Mal's telepathy without their knowledge or permission.
Let's go with that.
Cool. So I think in that panel, like, we see Mason kind of go stock still for just a moment, and I'm not sure how we represent this, but Mal, you definitely feel Mason, like, drawing off of your power here. And Mason, what question do you want to ask? Oh, sorry, you have to shift your labels when you selfishly use team, so go and do that.
I get to shift my own labels?
Yeah, shift up. Yeah, you shift it and then use your new label for the result of your roll. So you'd want to shift your superior up during that, right? Is that Pierce? You want to shift your mundane up.
Okay, so I have to shift my mundane up to make that roll one higher. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So the question that I'm going to ask is, what do you intend to do? So to the monster, like what are the monster's intentions?
We get several flashed panels, and, like, in your mind, this happens in a split second. But we see this man sitting at a table talking to, like, a shadowy figure, or sitting on one side of a desk talking to a shadowy figure. And you actually recognize this as, like, part of the facility in which you all got Jet out of. And you hear him say, "I'll bring him back, don't worry." And then we cut back. So he intends to capture Jet.
I'm going to yell to Jet. What is the name of the company where I found Jet?
The Lunar Wharf Transportation Research Center.
So I'm going to turn to Jet and yell, "He's from Lunar Wharf."
Big skid marks on the ground, cloud of dust. Stare over at Mason. What?
The monster, it's from Lunar Wharf. It's here to come and get you.
And then we get the panel of Jet, and rising up behind Jet is that oil, and it forms into the shape. And he's swinging his cane at Jet, it turns into this massive, like, cartoonish hammer. And he goes, "Yeah, I am." Jet, what do? You have like a split second to react before this thing hits you.
I'm gonna spray water out of my back to go away.
Just to get away, not trying to hurt him. Just making sure I understand.
So he is behind me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is mostly to get away still.
Excellent. Go ahead and unleash your powers. And so I can stop calling him just him and the thing. We get an editor's note on this panel of him swinging this hammer. It says Royal Oil, head and CEO of Cosmic Oil Acquisitions.
That's a 4.
Oh, fantastic. That's a 4. And before anyone calls me out on it, yes, this entire villain was based off a Mighty Mighty Boss 10's reference.
Is Ovi able to defend before he gets hit with this blow?
Yeah, I think now's the time to do it. What are you doing? To set the scene, I think we get the panel of the water spraying out of Jet's back. And I think we get Jet like flying forward a few feet and then kind of snapping in place in the air. And our panel shows that one of these tentacles has grabbed him by the leg.
Ovi's gonna open a portal to separate this guy's. You said it was a hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna open a portal to separate the hammer from his hand.
Go ahead and roll a defend.
Woo.
And Jet, make sure you mark potential.
Yep.
That's a fucking
Oh my
4.
god.
What?
These rolls.
What is happening today? Well, that fills out my potential track, so there's that.
Excellent. Cool. I'm going to give you a choice. Who does this hammer hit? It can be any of the 4 of you. It's your call.
Mason.
It hits me.
So we get this portal snapping open. The hammer goes through it, and then we get a panel of the portal opening behind you and the hammer hitting you in the back. Clobbers. Yep. It clobbers you in the back. There we go.
Oof.
And you go sprawling. And I'm going to give you another choice. You can either mark a condition or roll to take a powerful.
Oh, man. I'm going to roll to take a powerful blow. God fucking damn it. That's another 12. Oh, my God.
Okay, so apparently you all can only roll 4s, 6s, and 12s on powerful blows.
Oh, my God.
Go for more out of control stuff.
Oh, my God. No, that went so badly. She still needs to try to fix that. Oh, boy.
Well, 3 rights make a left, right?
No.
I just really want Icy to come up with another one.
That is true. I'm going to choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list. I'm going to give ground. And I don't want to mark any conditions because these rolls are already so bad. I'm going to lash out verbally. Who do I want to provoke?
If you want, I can tell you what the give ground looks like before you make that decision.
Okay.
So the hammer hits you in the back, and there's this reverberating pain through you, but it doesn't knock you down because it kind of sloshes around you, and you are now covered in this, like, not that you've actually touched it, you realize it's not wet. It's not actually like a liquid. It's getting a close look. It's just tiny, tiny machines. It's nanobots that's behaving like an oil, and they start constricting around you and hardening. So who do you want to lash out at?
I'm going to take advantage of my influence to inflict a condition on Jet. Is guilty free?
I have no conditions.
Cool. Mark guilty. You brought this thing here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What does that look like on the page?
Ovi looks over, like looks from, what was his name again?
Royal Oil.
God, I hate that. She looks from Royal Oil over to Jet and is just like, fuck, what was I gonna say?
That's it. That's the line. We got it.
She says, God, Jet, it's your fault he's here? You gonna do something about it or just fucking fly away?
Yeah, he's gonna look a little anguished over that. So he stops short and turns around and raises his hand and points, says, well, you picked the wrong day to try and take me back, and I'm going to start shooting at with water.
Just blasting them streams. Give me a directly engage.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's a 6.
I had a +3.
I can help with that.
Cool. What's that look like? How much team do we have left?
This will be 2 now,
Okay.
I think. Or
No,
is it 3?
we were at 2 since Mason used selfishly.
Right. Okay, cool. So we're at 1 now. I see the water like bursting at Royal Oil, and I think he starts to like step out of the way, and I just like reach out and just like make the gravity really heavy around him just to like slow him down so he's like really sluggish and he can't get away.
Cool. I like that. So that is a 7. Jet, pick one.
I am going to... I gotta show that I am a responsible person, so rather than avoiding their blows, I'm going to take something from them.
What are you taking?
Well, water and oil don't mix too well, so I imagine I'm taking their form.
All right. I'm into that. Cool with that being a temporary?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We get this panel of just these massive jet streams of water, and over the course of like 4 panels, Royal being just washed away. and then the water stops. Ovi's still covered in this stuff, and it's hardening and making it harder and harder for you to move. We still have the like tentacle chaos going on down on the beach itself, but the boardwalk is currently clear. And then we get this panel of just quiet for a moment, and this massive tentacle bursts through the boardwalk and just grabs Jet. Mal, what are you doing?
I got inspired by my earlier, like, making gravity heavier. And now that we're not circling a sun, do we have gravity right now? I guess planets have their own gravity. It's not based on the sun. But okay. I want to shift I want to make a center of gravity in, like, the atmosphere above Royal Oil. And I essentially want to, like, rip Royal Oil out of the ground and just, like, blast him up towards the sky.
You do not currently know where like the body part of him is that was blasted away by Jet. Do you want me to go through the list of like what's going on?
No, because the giant tentacle just came up. I just assumed that, like, his body became part of that tentacle. I assumed we're going like Clayface style. That was my guess based on that.
It's coming up through the boardwalk, so you're not sure where it is below.
Cool. I want to leave, but not like leave permanently. I have a purpose for leaving, but I'm going to fly, and I want to leave the gravity of this planet. I want to leave the atmosphere. I want to be in outer space.
Cool. As you fly straight up through this cloud, give me an unleash.
If I could see Mal right now, I would be very angry.
That's a 10.
Nice. Excellent. So we get these panels of you flying straight up, and as you hit this like cloud layer, it kind of forms to your body, and then we see them burning out and falling down like in a dust below you, and then you breaking through outside the atmosphere. And we're going to cut back down to the boardwalk. Mason, what are you doing? At the moment, Ovi is covered in this goo, and it's hardening. Jet is kind of being flung around by this giant tentacle, and Mal just flew into the sky.
I'm going to have many mouths, and I must scream.
What does it look like when you're doing a psychic attack on the page?
I think there's like a part of, like, I think the bottom of the panel is just Mason just calmly and blankly staring ahead of him. But then the inside, there's like the top of the panel is like what's going on in his mind, and it's like fury and anger that lashes out at the mind of the monster.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll that. It's directly engaged with Freak, right? Or is it Superior? I can't remember what that's based on.
Freak, yeah.
Freak, okay.
That's an 11.
Hey!
Yay! So I get to pick questions from Pierce the Mask, but I don't think I want to do that. I get to pick influence over the monster, but then it also gets influence over me, so no thank you. I can pick two things from the list, right? Can I pick the same thing twice?
Maybe? What are you thinking?
I was thinking of just take something from them twice and getting Ovi and Jet out with a single scream.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Do you have a particular way you want to look, or do you want me to roll with it?
You can roll with it.
Excellent. So I think we see like this wave of this mental scream radiating out from Mason, and as it hits the like tentacle whipping Jet around, the tentacle kind of loses cohesion and just drops Jet and starts to dissipate onto the boardwalk. And then the wave continues on, hits Ovi, and just all of the nanobots just fall off of you.
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets, T.B. Huth, and Elliot Peterson, and edited by Anthony Sheets and Sean Geddes. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at icynewyear.com. T is a theater artist and educator in the DC area. She can be found at thuthplaywright on Twitter or tphuth94 on Instagram. Elliot can be found at Elliot Yellen on Twitter. That's ELLIOTYLEN. Sean can be found at The Crumpit, THECRUMPIT, on Twitter. Moon Harbor Heroes is played using Masks: A New Generation, written by Brendan Conway and produced by Magpie Games. The music in this issue is Work by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. This issue is GM'd by Anthony Sheets. Stardust is played by T. Huth. Portali is played by Elliot Peterson. Jet is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at itsexphp on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Mason is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him as at Gilbereka, GILBERREKE on Twitter. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out at patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus issues each month. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.